What's happening, everybody? Dom here from Lensprotogo and Lens Rentals. Welcome back to the channel. In this week's video, we're talking about another great product from Elgato. And you're like, where is it? Usually in front of it or have it next to you or something. Well, give me a second here. That would be the Elgato Prompter. The reason you couldn't see it just then, I was actually using this Elgato Prompter to record the intro of this video, and you didn't even notice. Or maybe you did notice, hopefully not. Long story short, just in my surface level experience, right off the bat, my mind is already going with a bunch of awesome applications that you could put the Elgato Prompter to use for. So for now, I'm just gonna sort of mount it on this little arm I have behind me here, because we are going to check out what comes in this Elgato Prompter kit. Get this thing hooked up to the free downloadable Camera Hub software from Elgato, but most importantly, explore a couple of those awesome use cases. So let's not waste any time and get right into it, talk about what is going to come in this Elgato Prompter kit. So starting out with the prompter monitor. This stays on the bottom. Attach this, the main body of the prompter. It sort of houses like a one-way mirror set at a very specific angle, and this is going to attach on very simply by these two screws and a little driver provided in this kit as well. Next, you're going to take this sort of L-shaped piece right here. The face with all this venting right here is going to be the camera plate, and that ends up facing upwards. This little bracket right here is just going to find a nice, it's just going to find very easily a nice little slot right there, and then it's going to attach by one thumb screw. I swear it happens a lot easier than how I just made it look. And now this thing is pretty much like 90% built. 3 pieces, 3 screws, and your Elgato Prompter is very close to being completely set up. One of my first impressions after getting this built up, this thing is really plasticky, and I was a little wary of that over the first couple of minutes. I very quickly realized that they actually had to keep the weight down for one of its main use scenarios. But once it's assembled, it's actually very rigid. In the grand scheme of things that are made mostly of plastic, is made really well. Just to finish what comes in the rest of this kit, basically everything else that comes in this kit is just the mounting option for whatever type of device you're using the Elgato Prompter with. And those are pretty much going to come in the form of 3 separate backings. Now the first I'll talk about is the attachment for the Elgato Facecam Pro. Now I don't know much about this product, but it certainly makes sense. Elgato rolled out an attachment for this kit that is specifically made for their own webcam product. Let me know in the comments if you've used that Elgato Facecam Pro. I'm curious. Luckily, you're not just limited to Elgato products. You can hook the Elgato Prompter up to most regular webcams, either built-in or external, but for that, you are going to need this backing attachment that comes with this funny flap. Now, this might seem like a lot of fabric, but this actually serves a really important purpose. If any light pollution is getting in there, it's going to sort of mess up the whole one-way reflection type of thing. Will your whole production fall apart if there's a little bit of light coming through? No, but I would keep that in mind. This is also what you're going to use if you're using a mobile phone as the camera. Anyways, back to the kit. The last backing this kit comes with is the ring mount backplate, and this is going to be the choice if you're using a camera/lens combo as your prompter camera. Whether that be a point and shoot or an actual interchangeable lens camera, doesn't really matter as long as your lens has a front thread, because this system works off a whole series of different sized adapters. If your lens has a filter thread at the end, correspond that size to the many different options in this Elgato kit. Now for this, I would get the adapter screwed onto your lens, slot it into the backing, bring that bracket back into the equation, quick lockdown of both of those thumb screws, and that camera is attached. Again, super easy. Finally, this kit comes with an angled USB-C to USB to connect to a PC. This Elgato Prompter doesn't require any external power. It's all fed through that USB-C right there, and it draws it from whatever PC it's connected to. And that is going to be a perfectly good segue for me to start talking about this Camera Hub software that goes with this Elgato Prompter. I plugged in that prompter, and my computer is automatically going to switch you over from that white window into the prompter terminal. There's a quick tour of of this program here, starting from the top left, you'll see I'm in the Prompter tab. Otherwise, if I was using the Elgato brand webcam, I think these two, camera and effects, would be accessible, but now they're grayed out. Here in the Display tab, I can select its destination, and oddly, brightness is all the way up here, even though I think it should be in the Appearance tab. Anyways, down here in Content, you see I'm here in the Text tab, and over here on the right, I'm in the terminal for that. If I switch to Display, now this is simply going to treat the Elgato Prompter just like another desktop on my computer. And for me, that display was arranged to the left of my MacBook's display. So I'll simply drag a window to the left, and now you'll see that that lands on my Elgato desktop. And now I can bring up a website, play a video, really do anything I would use a second monitor for on this monitor, but this one is special. Now it's got a discrete camera angle hidden like behind that monitor. And we're going to talk about why that is so important and how that's basically the backbone of this product. Now, moving on to the last thing on this Content tab, you can see that I could also hit chat. This feature right here is probably the biggest draw to this product. You can feed in the chat that is coming in from a Twitch stream. And yes, right now only Twitch chat is supported, though you'll note that this feature is still in beta. So maybe later on down the line, we'll see that expands to other platforms other than Twitch. For that chat mode or the scrolling text mode down here in the Appearance tab, you'll have all these options for font, size, how large the margins are, the color of the text or the color of the background, and also the opacity of this layer. Now, you're like, opacity? Boring. I don't care about that. Well, you shouldn't think that, because that opacity slider is actually going to come in really clutch. While you are on any of these tabs, that desktop display is always running in the background. It's just in these tabs, the opacity is defaulted to 100%. So if you were wondering, can I read Prompter/read live chat while I'm using something in that window? The answer is yes. Okay, so now that we've gone over what comes in this Elgato Prompter kit, setting it up with that Elgato Camera Hub software, now it's really like the most important part. I kind of just want to like spitball ways that you could use this Elgato Prompter to really like elevate your video chatting, live streaming, presenting, really anything having to do with video communication experience. Forget Twitch streamers for a second, but let's just say you're somebody that does a lot of video calls. Maybe you're even expected to give presentations to multiple people over video. With this Elgato Prompter, you drag that presentation window to the Elgato's display, and now that same content that you were referencing in another space could be right there, just like softly projected in front of the lens that you are using to get that point across to people. For example, it would be a lot easier for me to do these videos just like totally looking at the thing that I'm talking about the entire time, like never even acknowledging you, but it would just be like way less engaging. Now your eyes are much more aligned to those who you are communicating with, and it is that much closer to possibly feeling like you're in the same room with them. Now, saving perhaps the most obvious use case for this Elgato Prompter for last. I talked about this a bit earlier, so I won't over-explain things here, but Twitch streamers always seem to be concerned about reading chat, and their chatters are concerned about whether or not their chats are being read. What Elgato is proposing here is a really neat solution to that, for pretty much all the exact same reasons as I just explained. I don't really want to sound redundant, but it aligns the streamer's perspective while looking at the chat. Even furthermore, on top of that, drop that opacity down, drag whatever you're looking at or whatever game you're playing onto the Elgato Prompter's monitor there. But I just have a feeling that most gamers would probably recommend against playing on a screen so small. You have the option. And with that, people, that is pretty much going to do it on this quick video overviewing what we're getting with this awesome Elgato Prompter. Now, this product is available for rental on both the Lensprotogo and Lens Rental's websites, and that might be a decent idea if you want to get familiar with this thing, because it's insanely back-ordered. So with that, people, oh, actually, I forgot my outro. Hold on, I think I need this for the rest of the video. No, of course not. With that, people, if you had any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you know what to do. drop a comment in the comment section below and we'll start a discussion. If you happen to like this video, you could hit that little thumbs up button underneath this video, but if you didn't do any of that, you could subscribe to the channel. Over 103,000 of you lovely people have hit that subscribe button, and if you want to take it a step further, you could actually hit that little bell button. That is going to actually ring a bell in real life somewhere, like somebody rings a bell. So that's pretty cool. It also notifies you whenever we post new content. That way you'll never miss one of our engaging and informative videos. So people, with that, I am promptly going to get out of here, and we'll see you in the next one.